Hello everyone, this is Arafon playing Lady Knight Saga, and last time we beat the 7 Young Stars, which I'm pretty sure is the end of the post-game challenges and the hardest boss in the game, but for doing that, we're apparently being granted a glimpse of the future. Yeah, she was not over here before. Another thing about time, if you want to see the future, go look at the crystal over there. Yeah, congratulations on beating the hidden boss, secret boss. Yeah, and you can see that's like plans or whatever for announcement, I think, of their next 18 plus RPG. Would you like to see it? Thank you. Now let's thing. Okay, we're getting an intro looking thing. So yeah, we're getting a lot of text here. I don't think I'm going to try to read all of it right now. I will subtitle it in post. Something out the Holy City, Aruban, Arvarn, maybe? City of scholarliness on the far end of the continent. Up underground, there's 8-floor giant. Well, that's labyrinth, but it's usually like RPG style dungeon. So, as to aim to clear the dungeon, seeking the treasures of the dungeon who want to test their power. Many heroes have challenged it and have not returned. So yeah, the Great Labyrinth of No Return. New adventurers have gone to challenge it, and they are... That certainly looks like treasure. The screen is an image. Yeah, this is still in development, so yeah. And here we have Aoi. Probably remember her because she was one of the first people to join us in this game. She's saying One-sama, that's literally big sister, but it's like a respectful boss lady kind of thing. And sometimes more intimate. But yeah, that'll be Reno she's talking to almost certainly. It's like, did you find anything? And yeah, that's Reno. Yeah, nothing over here. Guess there really is nothing in this dungeon. They say there's a bunch of gold piled on the other side of that wall. Yeah, for something called the Great Dungeon of No Return, hasn't been an awful lot of danger so far. Someone's saying, yeah, don't get careless. And there's Rosalie, our resident money-grubbing mercenary archer. Yeah, haven't found anything that's not gonna cut it. We came here to find treasure, so we need to search more carefully. It's like, yeah, easy for you to say. We're down to the fourth floor, and forget treasure, we haven't even found monsters. Yeah, this is just a maze. It's like might as well be like having fun killing time, something like that. It's like, yeah, I know, right? And here I wanted to try out my new special move. Just playing time. Yes, you're right. This dungeon it's too clean. It's almost like it was made recently, not like something ancient. Can sense a human will? I feel like this is designed to make fun of us. It's like, what if there's just a ton of treasure right on the other side of this wall? Yeah. It's like, okay, how about we just try and going a little further in? Maybe you find people or monsters or some signs of something? At least Aoi is still enthusiastic. She's good at that, very energetic and chipper. A dead end? I found something. Yes, we found gold. Hey, with this weight, it's got to be real. Like, Rosalie, maybe don't just go carelessly touching. And she falls in a hole. It's like, I told you so. Rosalie, are you okay? Well, she's made it pretty stern, so she'll probably be fine. It's like, what, you're just gonna leave her? Hey, we're heading downward anyway, so we'll meet up eventually if we keep going. It's like, yeah, maybe, but is she going to be okay falling from the sky? Yeah, she's the type who wouldn't die even if you killed her. Yeah, she'll survive whatever's thrown at her until she finds some treasure. That's just how she is. It's like, yeah, I hope so. Anyway, we gotta find a way to keep going. It's like, not like this trap hole is the right route, right? Oh wait, she's noticing something about that hole. I know, this is the one I'm used to seeing as like A or N, like fate, destiny, omen kind of thing, but it's also Fuchi, which is rim, edge. So something about the edge of this hole doesn't seem right. There's some kind of dirty slime? Oh no, this isn't a tentacle monster nest, is it? Rosalie has got deep in the dungeon. Will she be able to make it out? But yeah, we're getting an RPG with tentacle monsters and stuff, and basically she's making a comeback from what would normally be a bad end in this sort of thing. So yeah, Adventure Rosalie, Naedoko Dungeon Chronicle, working name. Slated to release in the fall of 2011. So yeah, that's their next game. It is starring Rosalie, as you can probably tell from the stuff, and it plays very differently from this one. Well, yes and no. It's still RPG-style combat, you still have similar system and status effects and elements and all that, but instead of Rosalie fighting directly, she's having monsters fight on her behalf. Kind of recruits them, and there's a team building thing. It sort of reminds me a bit of Pokemon, but that's not how you catch Pokemon. Yeah, this is asking you how you like that, and there's some extra stuff about whatever, and possibly taking till 2012, whatever. Yeah, characters are the same characters, but there's no real story connection. They wanted to use some more of the characters that didn't have much in the way of H events this time. Yes, Rosalie only had the one event which we completely avoided because you have to have Stella's tentacle armor event. And yeah, unlike this one, which was heavier on the RPG-ness, this next one, you're pretty much not going to be able to get through it without getting some of the H stuff, so yeah. Yeah, more information on their blog, check there please. Of course, it's already released at this point for a good 10-15 years, so anyway. But yeah, thanks for play, and see you again in the next one. But yeah, that is all you actually get concretely for clearing the game, is you get a challenge, particularly challenging boss, and you get a preview of their next game. which is basically just the intro and the overview of the system, or the concept. So yeah, I'm gonna switch up the party, go fight the final boss again. See you in a bit. And here we are, back at the depths of the final dungeon of the regular game. I brought along characters that I know have useless support things, so Anita's always misses, Rosalie's always misses. Dodo just kind of looks at it. It's like, oh, that's neat looking. And Nanahime or Maria will take an action in one of the rounds, unless you have both in the party, which I did the first time. I find Maria's support is more interesting, although they're functionally the same, so I'm bringing Nanahime. Yeah, I've given Anita the really good sword, so she has a ton of attack. Even more than Stella, despite Stella's higher level and that thing with a plus 20. It's a really good sword. I got Rosalie with Maria bow, and Toto with the Shining Sword, which is light damage. I'm pretty sure I remember the boss being weak against that. So let's switch Nanahime to this for extra spirit. And since this is a dungeon, you can't just save her. But yeah, look at the level difference from them being in the party while I was grinding and them not being. They're still well over 50, so should be more than enough. And yeah, we got this whole scene as usual. And now we fight. Alright, first we have the intro to the battle. Yeah, Toto's actually doing impressive damage because it's weak against that. Oh no, darkness. Okay, the lead-in battle's over. That was boring, so I'll probably have edited it out. I know, this is pretty impressive event scripting here. Got the fancy thing with the lights, and then the flames pop up all around us with the dark swirls. It's pretty cinematic. And yeah, we've seen all the dialogue already, so not going to bother with it. And yeah, this is the same music as the 7 Stars was, except that it's not the 8-bit version. Did she have a... No, she didn't have any way to power herself up, but she does have Anita Slash, which is like Quattro Drive, but better. She can use Triple Shot. Let's heal up the damage from last time. Come to think of it, I've never tried out her skills, so she has 2 that are relevant here. There's a Body Slam, which is potentially high damage, but it's enormous variance. And she has the Anger Song, which is holy damage to all enemies, so let's try that. Just makes the water fall out of nowhere. That was Anita Slash. Triple shot from Rosalie, but like half the party is using holy weapons, so I don't even need to use skills. Yeah, Reno and Aoi do their combo, which is decent damage. Berry. Yeah, see how normal attacks are. Yeah, Toto's doing as much damage as Stella and Anita just because it's weak against Holy. Sacrifice, that's Raji's attack, which is multi-target slashing and evil, I think. A Horn throws her weapon. It hits it, it's stunned. The stun doesn't actually do anything because it already took its action for the round. But it's kind of neat that she can do that. Let's try the body blow just to see how that does. Alright, that's a scripted thing that gives everyone status effects. Yeah, Toto barely did any damage. Yeah, Cataline does her status curing, which is specifically meant for that round. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Toto, the weakest character with the dinky toy weapon, is doing as much damage as a fighter, just because the Sand Avatar is weak against it. And because it does holy damage. Barbara comes in, attack buff. And I might as well use skills at this point. I'm probably going to get it well below the health it needs to be to finish the battle anyway. But let's see what kind of damage we can do. Yeah, Anita Slash is pretty darn good. Just appreciating the music. Yeah, even the Venus Rod does decent damage, although it's pretty weak because it's a no attack weapon coming from a mage. Baby does her multi debuff. We'll have her cure Nanahime. Yeah. This really isn't much of a threat. It's not free, but after creating the post-game bosses, it's kind of not a big deal. There goes Minami, nuking it for 5,000 plus damage. That's pretty satisfying. Yeah, to get that much damage out of that spell, normally she'd need to have something like 2,000 spirit, I think. Something ridiculous like that. Of course, everyone's immune to status effects unless they're force applied, so don't have to worry about getting status affected. And between that and all the resistances, it's just not terribly impressive anymore. Hilda and Nachiko do their thing, except it's just Hilda using Snipe. I should have given the half MP to Nanahime, because I'm just having Rosalie attack anyway. And her attack is doing as well as a triple shot just about, because again, that's holy damage, or light I think, and it's weak against that. Koa chips in with Burning Hammer. Yeah, might as well debuff its attack. That hurts. Yeah, we are getting a bit of, what's it called in the music, where they try, where it's amplified too much and it gets kind of distorted. I think they call it, is that called clipping, or am I thinking of something else? But yeah, it's unfortunate that the music does that because it is pretty good music. Although it's possible they did that on purpose because they're fighting some distorted, evil monstrosity. Yeah, Ashi commands Linda. Linda chops in for massive damage. Yeah, Nita's actually getting pretty beat up. But it did a 3-hit attack with a lot of damage, so that does have some effect. Kirsten, you definitely want Kirsten on standby so she can do this. And that removes buffs. Again, tentacle damage will only inflict status if it actually does damage, same as any other physical attack. starts removing buffs again, but there's no buffs to remove, so I don't really care. The damage is more of a thing. Here's Zephy's support action. We had her in the party last time, so we didn't get to see this. It's like, yeah, I don't know if this is an incarnation or what, but cutting down dragons is what I do. Massive damage out of her. Appropriately. Because hunting dragons is what she does. And again, I did confirm that, as I suspected when coming through here the first time, you can't actually finish the battle until it gets through the rounds where the scripted actions happen, so at this point it's just a survival thing. And yeah, that does massive damage to multiple people, but if Maria or Nanahime are on standby, which you do want one of them on standby for this reason, they'll come in, and Maria's saying, "Stella, my beloved." Like, wait, what? Anyway. You're not fighting by yourself. And Maria's support action, everyone fully recovered, including MP. Alright, she doesn't have an attack buff, but she can debuff its defense, so let's do that. But yeah, until we get to the point where the scripted actions are over, it's basically just a survival battle. The damage you do does count, but you can't actually finish it off. Yeah, he's going, "Can you keep up with me?" And she does the speed buff. Yeah, I think the defense down helped a bit, but it doesn't have that much defense in the first place. It's not an excessively defensive boss. Here Noah comes in. It's like, this is not beautiful. And I am needing to keep healing, but it's not that big a deal. Yeah, Rinyan's talking about her ultimate attack. Kaboom. And it's slimy, it's all over my hands. Yeah, she is rather childish. Yeah, the Holy Sword doesn't actually do holy damage. It's, I think, fire and anti-undead. So this is not weak against fire, it's not undead, so that's no special thing, it's just a strong attack. But Catherine, who is also was in the party last time, is doing her thing. She's actually directly responding to Rinyan. He's like, she does her Ojo-sama laugh. It's like, oh, if we're talking special attacks, I'm not going to lose. Take this, my ultimate secret special attack thing. And yeah. She outdid Rinyan. Let's lower its attack. And here's her Stella does her things, like we're not gonna lose, holy energy overflows from her body, everyone is full healed. And now the real battle begins, except it's probably dead already. We'll find out shortly. Yep, it's already dead. Yeah, as soon as you get to this round, or any following round, if it has 0 or negative health, that's it. The battle's over. You win. And yeah, water overflows from the water key fragments, and it's going to drown the whole area and reinforce the seal for generations to come, so yay! Alright, let's finish up with one last secret, which I only know about because I was actually looking at the game maps. In the castle courtyard where you start out, if you come into the corner here, walk, I think it was 3 steps over, examine the wall here, come right over to this wall, examine this wall, you get a bunch of debug items. It's a secret to everyone. You get a bunch of money, which you can kind of see at the bottom there, but mainly you get these two items. There's a fire scroll and self-destruct coon. So debug items. This does a ton of damage to all enemies. This does a ton of damage to all allies. If you want to blow up enemies or blow yourself up, that's what those are for. But yeah, you just come over here, examine that to enable a flag, examine this to get the stuff. And that will let you very much cheese the game. In any case, this has been Arafound playing Lady Knight Saga. We've pretty much seen everything the game has to offer, except for the scenes that I can't show on YouTube anyway, so yeah, if you're interested in those, feel free to check it out for yourself. Regardless, next time we'll be doing something rather different. Something I've been thinking about trying for a while, and I've made some adjustments to the standard setting, but we'll see how that goes then. I have also started getting back into Rain World and doing some exploration, so I do intend to go back and try the Hunter quests at some point, but not until after I've done more practicing and exploring as much as I can with Monk. Yeah, next time we are doing Zelda randomizers. With some rather chaotic settings. I hope to see you then.